Okay, we'll go ahead and call today's Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, March 9th, 2026. Call the meeting to order. We'll start with roll call. Ms. Steck or Ms. Williams?
Let's see. Mr. Miller?
Here.
Ms. Tomich?
Here.
Ms. Rott?
Here.
Mr. Carr?
Here.
Mr. Russo?
Here.
Ms. Caputo?
Here.
Ms. Stroker?
Here.
Like, who else? Oh, like Kristen. Who's Kristen? Mr. Beach is not with us today. Mr. Barron is not with us today. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody.
Perfect. Everyone else is?
Yep.
Thank you.
You do have a form. We do need, I did receive notice from Mr. Barron and Mr. Beach. So we will need a motion to excuse them.
Okay. Might a member of the board make a motion to excuse the absences of Mr. Beach and Mr. Barron?
I will. I make a motion to excuse the absences of Mr. Beach and Mr. Barron at the March 9th, 2026 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting.
We have a motion, a second?
I'll second.
Motion seconded. All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. All right, motion passes. First up on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Agenda was provided via the new website, also posted online for the public. Are there any adjustments or modifications to the agenda as published? Having heard none, could there be a motion to approve the agenda as published?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion seconded. All those in favor say yes. Yes?
Yes.
Anyone opposed, say no. All right, the motion passes. Our agenda is official. Up in the agenda, after the approval of the agenda, we have the approval of the minutes. We have not met since December, so hopefully we're not rusty. I know myself, Robert's Rules of Orders, I may go out of context, so please keep me in line. But those that were present from the December meeting, we had one case. We also had a topic that was made into old business for today, the bylaws. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes, and are there any comments or adjustments to the minutes as published?
I have a few corrections.
Okay.
They're minor, but on page 1 of those present, my name is spelled incorrectly.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Under approval of minutes, Mr. Russo's name is spelled incorrectly. And then on page 3, the second large paragraph from the bottom, second sentence, is supposed to be his, and it says H8S. So those are just nitpicky.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Sorry about
So
No, it's okay.
Which paragraph was the H8?
Page 3, second to last.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Having made the suggestions to the corrections, might there be a motion to approve the agenda as corrected? Minutes, sorry, thank you. That didn't take me long.
Motion to approve the minutes, subject to the amendments made by Ms. Rott.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Motion seconded. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone opposed, say no. All right, thank you. All right, next up, we have public comments on items that are not on the published agenda. Is there anybody here to speak on items that are not on the agenda? Okay. Having heard no comments from the public, we will, on items not on the published agenda, we'll move on to old business. So if we remember, back in December, we got a draft version of the Zoning Board of Appeals bylaws. It was a best practice identified by the Redevelopment Ready Communities Program. I think at the time, most of the board members hadn't seen it much before the meeting, so Hoping the board has had a chance to go through. Are there any comments on the bylaws? Has anybody had a chance to review?
I do have one question, just to make sure. On page 5 of the draft, subsection D, maybe I'm missing something. In that paragraph where it says agenda items E, F, and H shall be eliminated, is that a typo?
Item, let's see. E, F, and H.
Instead of numerical?
Oh, probably.
That was the only thing that I noticed that I had a question about.
C, A, P. Yes, so that would be numerical number 5, 6, and 8. So, yes, those will be renumbered, or numbered correctly.
Okay. I had a question or clarification on page 4, Article 6, Rules, paragraph A. So the way I understand it, our quorum consists of a majority, which is 5 of the entire board membership. A concurring vote of a majority of members of the board shall be necessary to approve any motion. That is not a concurring vote of the majority of the members present. It is of the total board. Is that how I read that correctly? Okay.
Yes.
I think we kicked that around last time when we were talking, so
Yes,
if we.
because it's always the thing that gets confusing.
Yep, so if we only had 5 people show up today, we had quorum. In order to pass a motion, all 5 would have to approve, correct?
Correct.
And under my hypothetical? Okay. Are there any other questions regarding the bylaws?
I had a question, maybe not a question, maybe a statement. Article 5E, the board would have to agree unanimously that someone has a conflict to be removed?
Correct. So if you felt you had a conflict, everybody else would have to agree with you. And if they don't, well, then you remain able to take action on the case before us. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I don't know if it's reasonable, but
Is that something they could change?
That is the standard practice across elected and appointed bodies, that if someone believes they have a conflict, the rest of the board has to unanimously agree that, yes, there's a conflict and we believe you could not be impartial in your decision-making. The idea is that if you've been elected or appointed to a position, you need to vote on the issues that come before you unless there's some immediate, direct, typically financial benefit to you personally. Otherwise, it's not technically a conflict, and it's to keep people from wiggling out of voting on matters that they are uncomfortable with or don't like or don't want to publicly express an opinion on.
And that is, as you described, industry standard in the
Yes,
boards?
that's
and-
how I've been advising clients for 27 years, as would all my colleagues.
so if we don't have a quorum, then is it at a board meeting that it would be discussed, the conflict? Or would it be offline, or how does that happen?
No, it needs to be disclosed publicly at the meeting, at the time the matter comes up for consideration.
And then if we don't have a quorum to have all a unanimous vote, then
The matter would have to be postponed.
okay. I don't mean a quorum, I mean an excused absence is what.
Yep, no, I
yeah.
understand what you're saying, yeah.
But the unanimous vote is by the remaining members of the ZBA present
That are
at that
present at
meeting.
that time,
Yeah.
correct.
But E says, E doesn't say that.
Doesn't say what, which part?
It's, E says, if the board agrees that the member has a conflict by unanimous vote, the member shall remove him or herself from the dais for the duration of the discussion and vote on the matter of which the member has a conflict.
So would you be more comfortable if it said, by unanimous vote of the board members present?
Yes, I think there's a difference there.
I didn't pick this up earlier, but if I read that, so if the board agrees that the member has a conflict by unanimous vote, the member shall remove him or herself from the dais for the duration of the discussion and vote on the matter on which the member has a conflict?
The discussion and vote.
And so they're removing themselves from the dais and removing themselves from the vote.
Correct.
Okay. Are there any other comments from the board? I guess for discussion, does the board want to table this for another month to review one more time, or do you want to take action tonight? We haven't had bylaws for the 4 years I've been here. I don't think we're going to go out of trouble if we don't have them, but it would certainly be
No, but
encouraged to have them.
it's definitely encouraged to have them.
I move to table for 1 month to review the revised bylaws.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to table it. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion to table the ZBA board approval of the ZBA bylaws, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed, say no. Okay, unanimous. Could we ask for a updated version, maybe a week or two before the next meeting, just to,
Sure.
thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have new business. First, under new business, we have case number 1440 at 31671 East Belvine Trail. Ms. Steck, would you mind giving an administrative overview of the case?
Sure thing. Good evening, all. So as you mentioned, we have case number 1440 at 31671 East Belvine Trail. We do have the applicant and their architect here to answer any questions after I've done my little spiel here. The Shaftings, did I get it right this time? Yes. All right. So the Shaftings are here, and they are seeking a dimensional variance from section 46-167. It's the corner lot setback on the side street, which in their case means that they have to have a 40-foot setback on the Belvine Court side of their property. They are hoping to construct a master suite addition to that side of their home. So this is their property here on our zoning map. It is zoned RA, which is one of our larger lot areas. Here's a nice little overhead shot. So the setbacks in this district do require, it's a 40-foot front yard setback. As a corner, they are considered to have 2 front yards. There is the corner lot setback states that every corner lot in a residential zone district, which has on its side streets, so East Belvine Trail is their primary street, Belvine Court is their side street. So each shall have on its side street, an abutting interior residential lot, which is right here. They shall have a minimum setback from the side street equal to the minimum front setback for the zone district in which such building is located. If there is no abutting interior lot, then 15 feet is permitted for the principal building. So, as you can see, they do have an interior lot on their side streets, so that requires that they have a 40-foot setback. And I just realized I did not put their sketch in this. So this is the front view of their home. This lovely light shining here, this was today. This is where they're intending to put the addition. It's kind of a better view from the side. And I apologize that I do not have their plans in the PowerPoint, but they were included in your packet. They are, let me go back to this one. They are looking to install an addition or construct an addition at approximately this point right here. I maintain this is the best trick you've ever taught me, Tim. So they are, the front of the addition would be approximately here, and it will extend backwards towards the rear of their lot. Oh, my guesstimate looking here is we're about right here. Is that correct?
It's,
Roughly?
it's actually in more to the right, but that's in general the area that's long.
Oh.
A rectangle along from the front, and then go straight across and back, and then return, and then reconnect back to the front.
Yep. So there is a small portion of their addition that is within the existing setback, and their house is currently meets all of those dimensional standards, the front and side and rear setbacks. They are seeking to go into that side yard. I'm going to call it side yard just so we can stay kind of dimensionally together here. Stay within this setback. They're looking to go into that setback by 18 feet, which would result in a side front yard setback of 22 feet. As of, let's see, this addition is a master suite addition. Bathroom, lovely closets. There's a sitting room that would be part of this. They have supplied a narrative really outlining what their rationale is for the variance, why this location is the desired location. And I will let them kind of address that a little bit more thoroughly. But they are, it really, the way their first floor is currently laid out to go off the north side of the house. To go off the north side, this would be at the garage. The kitchen is right beyond here. So really, the flow of the existing home does not lend itself to constructing the addition off of the north and west side of the house. So as I said, they're looking to encroach 18 feet into that Belvine Court side of the property with a resulting setback of 22 feet. I am happy to answer any questions you may have on their request.
Do any members of the board have questions for Ms. Steck regarding presentation of the case?
I do. What is the typical side yard setback in this district?
This is 15 and 10 feet respectively.
Have there been any of these setbacks for corner lots been given in the past, or no?
I'm sure there have been, but I don't recall any during my tenure so far.
Okay.
Can you state the reason again why the addition couldn't go?
The interior flow.
Yes.
Yep. There's, and I'll let the applicants more fully describe the layout, the interior layout. My understanding is that the kitchen, laundry,
Now, that's the family room where you're,
oh, the family rooms is
and then come down, right, that's where the kitchen is.
kitchen, sorry.
Kitchen dining area,
Kitchen, dining,
dining room.
and then the garage is over here. And it's just a matter of how it all flows and connects together.
If it's okay, when the applicant comes up, they can probably present the reasons for.
Works for me. And I apologize for not getting that sketch in the PowerPoint tonight.
I had two questions, and maybe they're bad questions, because I don't know if you can answer them, but to the south, the border of the property between it and Belvine Court, that strip of land seems.
Right here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Whose property is that?
public right away.
Okay. Compared to some of the adjacent properties, it just feels bigger. Like the property is already kind of, it's a decent sized right of way, I guess, is comparatively to some others.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard. It's 60 foot, it looks like, 60 foot from here
Okay.
to there.
Okay.
That's pretty typical.
And then are you aware of any variances granted on the property to the north, 31705? The power of Google Maps is their north end of their home appears to be well into the front side yard setback. And I was just curious, this is one I probably should have prepped you on, because I don't know if you have access.
I did not look into that.
I don't know if you can pan down in that view that you have there.
The 31705, right?
Yeah, there's appears to be an addition on the north side.
I would look it up if my computer wasn't deciding to like not turn on.
I think the addition is up, didn't go out. Depending what you're looking at.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's just a little screen grab there.
Okay. That's all I had.
Yep.
Great. If no further questions from the board to the staff, we'll ask the applicant or their representative to come up. If you don't mind just stating your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Alex Bogarts. I'm the architect for the petitioner. Address is 2445 Franklin, Bloomfield Township.
Thank you. If you don't mind, if there's anything more you can expand on your application. I know you gave a nice written statement with the packet. I don't expect you or ask you to read it verbatim or restate what you've already provided to us in writing, but if you could maybe give a little more context to the build, maybe some clarity on why the addition wants to go where it wants to go, or better yet, why it can't go elsewhere.
Thank you. First of all, it's important that the board knows that the Shaftings have been residents in Beverly Hills for 32 years, and their interest is to stay here. Their home is a two-story home, and what they're looking for is to have a first-floor master bedroom. And we've spent a great deal of time together looking for different alternatives where that can work logically to the interior layout of the floor plan. And the only one that really works the best is to where we are proposing in the documents you have in front of you that we've provided in our sketch form here, where that is to the side of the house or the south end of the house. Because what it does, it enters off of the living room area there into the, accesses into a small hallway and then into the bedroom. So the logic of the bedroom is really just stands out to be there and not to be traversing through other rooms in the house to get back to a different place. We've talked about doing a second floor with an elevator and things like that, but nothing really gets them where they want to be. They want the comfort and ease of being at a first floor master bedroom home, but to remain in the location they are. It's a beautiful, large lot. It's in a great location, and we have, as I said, spent a great deal of time evaluating this before we came before the board with our question. One of the important things to note is that the Shaftings did take and go around to their immediate neighbors, and there are 5 neighbors that they talked to. The Flynn's, the Byerlines, the Bugs, the Allens, and the Cart Villa Blancos that are all immediate neighbors to this house, and they spoke with them, they showed them what they were doing, and they were all okay with what we're planning on doing. They're okay with the variance. I don't know if there are others and that they haven't had a chance to talk to that have any comments, but it seems by and large the immediate neighbors seem good with it. As you mentioned in the package, I've already tried to respond to the items that the board looks to for is there a unique situation of the property and so forth. Is there appliance to the zoning compliance to zoning board criteria unreasonable to prevent the owners from using their property? It is only unique in this simple regard, that the house is set back from the north property line probably about 35 or 36 feet. Had the original placement of the house pushed the house north about 15 feet and had the normal setback for a side entry garage, we wouldn't be in front of you. We would have the room we need, and we would be moving forward with this. Well, the Shaftings didn't have anything to do with that, so that's what we feel. It makes this a unique situation. The compliance with the ordinance is unreasonable in this regard, in that because the interior solutions are not logical. You don't give us a chance to get to have them move forward with spending all this money to improve the home and not have something that's going to work for them. As I mentioned, the alternative locations are what makes the conformity to the zoning ordinance burdensome. And then finally, we don't feel that the addition will negatively impact the neighborhood. In fact, we think, if you look at in your package and at the front elevation sketch, we think it's going to dramatically improve the community. It's going to improve the community. Certainly is going to dramatically enhance the front elevation of their home, and it's going to do nothing more than contribute positively to the neighborhood and the community by them making a greater investment in this parcel, staying in the community, and enhancing the home. There is one other subject that is really kind of bizarre in a way, maybe doesn't really apply to this, but your ordinance did speak to situations when there are homes that were placed like this along the side lot line, but across the street was not homes immediate, then you could reduce your setback on that side. And that can, obviously, we don't have that condition, but the only reason I'm bringing that up is that they did at that time look at it and say, there are potentially unique situations for properties. So whether that has really merit or not, it's just something that struck me as I was looking through all the materials for this. Really, that's my presentation overall. I think the important thing to note is that the side yard setback square footage is about 7,600 square feet. As the planner pointed out, a portion of this, about 90-plus square feet, is actually within the allowable front yard setback that we could make an addition without being in front of you, but it certainly doesn't give us enough room to do that. But when you take all of that side yard setback along to the 7,600 feet, and we're looking to add in to encroach 662 square feet of it, is about 8%, and it's also only one story. It's a one-story roof line. We're not looking for a large two-story. We're not looking to do an indoor swimming pool. We're not looking for anything excessive. We're just trying to get the home so that the Shoftings can stay in it, they can stay in the community. We can enhance and enrich certainly the aesthetics of their home. And through their efforts, speaking with their neighbors, everyone seems in favor of it. So that's our presentation this year. I'll be happy to answer any question that the board members may have.
I got a quick question. So right now you're looking at 752 square foot addition. Did you explore the possibility of making that smaller so it fit into the actual 40-foot setback? And if so, what would that look like?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. But the problem is that that is such a small, if you look at that, at the one site plan discussion we did, it's just that small triangular area that's only about 100 square feet. And it goes from 0 to about 8 feet. So there's not really enough room there to do anything. Although if you look at the property, we have a 40-foot front yard setback, and the front area here is greater than that by about 15 or 16 feet. We looked at trying to do something in the front there, and it just doesn't logically work. It cuts off the front windows of the living room, and it just, we felt that when we went through the design process, there were so many things that were not working. We're going to try to come to the community, make our presentation, tell you why we think that there is merit to this. That, as I've said before, we think this absolutely enhances the aesthetic of the home and the community, and is to benefit to the community. But we need to address the setback with this board.
Any additional questions?
Not right now.
Other members?
So just for the layout, I'm just looking at, there's a ton of room on the one side or behind, because it's pretty much the whole addition's falling into the setback, which I understand in the layout of the home. I think that does look good, and that in the sense if you're trying to, match either side of the home. As it comes to like the garage area or anything like that, have you explored like shifting the garage or doing something like that?
We did all of that, and in every instance, we even looked at one, which is exactly what you said, of pulling the garage forward into the front yard setback, but it's still you're faced with the practical problem of walking through the kitchen, the dining area, and the family room to get to that space. And it's just, if that design opportunity would have played out, we wouldn't be in front of you because we would have gone forward that direction. But it's not what they want. That really doesn't work. It's not logical, and it doesn't give them an opportunity to do an addition that really works logically interior for the home. So that's That's why we're in front of you.
It also encroaches on our neighbors, so the two houses right there are driveways butt up against each other.
If you don't mind, if you'd like to speak, if you could step up to the lectern, and the microphones don't pick up your voice for those viewing not in person. And if you don't mind just stating your name for the record.
Okay, my name is Joanne Shofting. I'm the homeowner at 31671 East Belvine Trail. What we were saying is that the back end, we would have really been on top of our neighbors if we would have gone out, because the driveways literally butt up against each other. So when you go out the drive, there's a little piece of grass in between our neighbor and them. So if we would have gone out to that side, it would have, besides not flowing inside the house, but also it was our neighbor consideration that it would have encroached on them a lot. So, and right now they have 3 little girls, so we didn't want to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant from the board? A couple quick questions for myself. We didn't get a floor plan of the existing home, so I think I can understand, or we have one, but the line weight's really light. I can't tell what the function of the spaces are. So just my own clarity, the entire west elevation that faces the rear yard, what is that space today?
Sure. Well, if you look at your drawing, and this is the addition area, this bay window is in a small sitting area. Then it's the kitchen and breakfast nook area here, and then this is all the family room. And this is the den at the front, classic foyer here, and the living room with the great room here. In that part. Is that,
Yeah, so I noticed you didn't say bedroom, so there are no bedrooms on the first floor
there are
today?
no bedrooms on the first floor now.
Okay, thank you. And then what is the approximate size, if I'm reading the addition correctly, the east starts with a bathroom closet area that has more of a protrusion into the setback, and then it skinnies up a little bit, goes into a bedroom, and then goes into a sitting area?
Correct.
What is the approximate size of the bedroom from north to south?
The bedroom's about 14 by 14.
Okay.
The great room is about, the sitting room is about the same, and the bath area, as you can see, takes a greater portion of that. By the time we do the bathroom, 2 walk-in closets, creating a hallway coming off here. We didn't want to have a door coming directly into the bedroom. Wanted to step into small hall area, then step into the bedroom, and from the bedroom down into the bath. We haven't developed this up because until we get a direction from the community, there was really no point in us going through and finally designing the area. But
Sure.
this, I can tell you, this is conceptually where we want to be. We've talked about, we looked at some other different solutions, and this is the one they like because and this is, I know, has nothing to do with what we're the issue this evening, but when this is built out here this way, it also affords a privacy to their rear property, their rear yard area that they don't have right now. So there's that's secondary benefit.
Okay. And part of my questioning is I can appreciate the need to have a first floor bedroom, especially if the residents are in need of a first floor bedroom and not needing to elevate. But at a 14 by 14, what would you say the average size of a master bedroom or single bedroom is in standard for living?
Well, that certainly varies with the level of home, but for a home this size, I would think that's very modest bedroom size. So I would say if typically 13 by 18 might be a normal size bedroom, master bedroom suite. We'd certainly like to see something about 15 by 18 or so, but that begins the scale of that is really larger than the scale of what we are at for the entire home. So we think this is proportionally correct in terms of where they want to be. Having a sitting room off their bedroom is a very important issue for them. So that's why we've included it in the design. They want to have that secondary relaxing space that they can have, and that they can have immediate access to their rear yard. And so we went through a lot of design work on that until and that's the direction we'd like to go in if the board were to grant the approval.
And part of my questioning is if, understand that we need places for people to sleep and live on the first floor, maybe a sitting room would be considered a non-necessity, but if the sitting room was to be removed and to try to pull that encroachment into the easement to a lesser standard, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that southwest corner of the bedroom at 14 by 14, you really couldn't bring that in at any point, could you?
Certainly, the answer to that is yes, of course that could happen. Instead of us asking for this line here to be the 18-foot encroachment into the 40 feet, or the 22 feet here, could it be 24 feet? Could that move or move in? Yes. But then it begins to compromise some of those spaces. If you get between the bathroom area and then you almost get to the point of saying, well, is it logical for them to move forward with doing this if it gets crowded too much? And frankly, whether it's 22-foot setback or 24-foot setback, no one's going to appreciate that difference. The thing we want to bring forward to the board is that we are looking for this side yard setback and this encroachment because the entirety of the concept what we're trying to accomplish is what they want to do for the home so that they can stay in the home and stay in the community.
My final question was, you'd listed some last names, I believe, of neighbors that the resident spoke to. Not knowing those persons, Ms. Steck, do you mind pulling up just the previous page that has like the addresses on the more, yeah, that one. Were those persons that you spoke to at 31655 to the west, 31637 to the southwest, 31621 and 31551?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Scott, can you show them where each house is, the people you spoke
Neighbors
with?
we talked to include these two houses.
Sorry.
It's also
You touched before I got to Warren.
Oh, I
It's touch screen.
And then we talked to these two.
Okay.
And then 705, right next to us.
Oh, yeah.
And the 3160,
This one here?
Yeah.
They were out of town.
okay,
They're in Florida.
okay.
31551,
Which one?
the other corner.
This one?
Yeah.
We can get her approval. She's 80-some years old. She loves us to death.
And then there's another
And
one.
then there's a woman back here.
Copper Court, the Flintstown Court.
Oh, yeah, Flynn's over here, though. And then we got the, what's her name?
Thank you. Sometimes we have petitioners that come in and say they talk to the neighbor, and the neighbor lives a quarter mile down the road. Go ahead. So, just wanted to clarify, so.
Understood.
That's all my questions. Okay, thank you. You can have a seat, and we'll continue on. At this point, we will open up the case for public hearing. Are there any members of, I guess first off, Ms. Steck, did we receive any written or other forms of agreement or disagreement or opinion on the case from the public?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is there anybody here from the public to speak on the case? Okay. With that, having heard no comment from the public, we will close the public hearing. And discuss amongst ourselves. I guess I'll start just with the injury. We haven't had a corner lot. I actually went up into my files since 2022, so corner lots are always fun because of the whole front yard is your side yard. So we haven't had to talk about this in a while.
Has there been any cases that have come before like this, or?
I think the last corner one had a sunroom existing that they wanted to tear down and put in a slightly larger sunroom.
Okay.
So it was a little different. It wasn't a full new addition, but as we say, each case stands on its own as well.
Yeah. I just have I guess, an internal question of, I'm guessing they're not going to do any sidewalks, but just wondering what the setbacks are required for sidewalks if they were to add, because I know we've added them in places, anything like that, that we would have to worry about too?
No, I mean, I don't know if there's plans for sidewalks in here or not, but in all likelihood, we would be working within the existing setback that's there.
Okay.
If we needed more space for some reason, I will let my DPW director figure out how to do that. But
But if
I don't
it
know
falls
what-
within the normal, that 60-foot between the two houses, that would all fall within that normally?
yes, that 60-foot setback is a very common setback.
Okay.
Or right-of-way, I should say, sorry.
I mean, having just gone through getting sidewalks, personally, I don't think they really care. They dig them up and they
Well,
lay
yeah,
them down
they'll
where
do
they
what
want
they
to do it. So I think that's a little bit beyond us.
Yeah.
Other members?
I like the addition aesthetically, but I do think that's a substantial variance that we'd be granting in comparison to what's allowed.
I agree.
Okay. Guess I'll just share some thoughts myself. I think it is important to note that there is no first floor bedroom in the home. It's not like you could convert or renovate a space that's existing to make it livable for a first floor resident. And I did appreciate that the petitioner didn't attempt to, where the bump out comes out in the closet bathroom area, they didn't attempt to continue that extension all the way to the west, and was keeping the bedroom in what I agree is a very modest size room. It's not a 25 by 25 master bedroom that you may see in some bigger homes. I also appreciate that it is a one-story addition and that it's not changing the sight line at the second floor. And I do think it's unique in that the house does sit quite far to the south of the property. It's just my own personal thoughts. Okay. Anybody thinking about making a motion or furthering discussion?
I guess I had a question, and I don't know if this can be answered, but if instead of it being an L-shaped, it was just, like, it was all kept to that lesser part, what the encroachment on the setback would be then?
If you don't mind coming back up, I have a follow-up question for you.
Sorry, what was the question in terms of which, how,
So rather than having it be like L-shaped,
yes.
if it was all just straight from the smaller part, what would the encroachment be?
Well, we would, if the extreme southwest corner of the sitting room were to remain, or to take that point and go straight east with it, you're saying? And you could, right, we could extend it down to the front a little bit, that's certainly possible. But the problem is the southeast corner would still be the one we would have to be asking a request dimensionally from you. What we did is the blue line, the light blue line, and the setback here shows the parallel distance from the right-of-way. If we pull this forward, it's certainly back from that, but this point here still would remain. We could look to maybe shifting this 2 feet and pulling this down so this area doesn't pump out. That's certainly a possibility. If we want to work that out dimensionally, I guess we could figure out how, to get some specific numbers for you. I guess the point is even with that, we'll still be back in front of you asking for a variance to the setback. I'd like to proceed with this setback request because it really gets them exactly what they want in terms of plan. If we need to modify that and you want to table us and have us go back and come back with some new dimensions, we're happy to do that if then the board is seeing that as a forum to move forward with the approval on this.
And one question is really in the back of the house. What is back there right now, and what is keeping it from going to the back of the house? But for some of the things you mentioned about the flow of the house.
You're referring to this area back here? Okay, let me start this way. This is the front of the house, the side. This is a straight line. You can see,
That's
All right,
fine.
that's
Just
good.
keep going.
No,
I don't know how to make that stop, so you just, you're good.
so this area this is all the kitchen nook area along here. This is the family room here, and this portion here is the garage. As you see, there's a little bit of 5 by 5 foot offset here. This is the garage, punching out in the middle, offset that way. The library is here, foyer, the living room, and then back here.
So where your finger is right there.
This comes out here, like this is all trees here right now, and this is their patio area. There are no physical structures back here right now. Is that your question?
Yes, that back there is a patio area back there.
It's just all patio. There's no cabana, there's no building of any type.
And were there ever any discussion about doing the addition in the back?
Oh, yes, that's what I was saying earlier. We've looked at several. There's a 40-foot front setback, and I'll mark it, I want that one here. Is this one here, there's about 15 feet in the front yard, but to try to get enough area to make that work, it just simply wouldn't work. I even looked at possibly say, abandon the living room to try to make this work. And then just, as we went into each of these different design studies, the plan became more and more bizarre, and almost to the point where you would say, well, look, this is not going to work. Don't go in this direction. If we can't get this to work, then I don't know what their long-term plans are.
Now, when you say bizarre, does that have anything to do with could it affect the structural integrity of the home when you say bizarre, or is it just bizarre as in layout?
Bizarre just meant the design layout. When you actually get into looking at the plan, what works best. Well, at least in our practice.
Microphone, please.
Oh, you got to come back up to the podium, I'm sorry.
In our practice, which we haven't shown and developed in this plan, we look at things like what are the furniture placements? How does the furniture go? Where is the bed? You want to walk into a bedroom and look at the foot of the bed. That's usually the best way to do it. Is there room for a footboard and a walkway and a dresser? We look at the interior design layout as well as a box of a room. It's not just a box of a room, I should say. We look to see how that's going to lay out and how that's going to work and how it flows. And And the same with the closets in the bathroom. The closets and bathrooms are just very, very important things to any new master suite that someone's going to be considering, whether it's in a new home or an addition, in terms of having ample closets and having a good bathroom space and having it work effectively, separate sink areas, water closet in a room by itself, and an oversized large shower. And when you take all of that into consideration and you try to put it in the front yard, there's really no way to work that out logically. That's why I use the word bizarre, because then what happens is you start doing things like taking away the living room to make a bedroom there, and then that just fundamentally is not a good decision to make on a residential property. So we've spent a lot of time together on this, and and we're here this evening because we so strongly feel that this is the right solution that we've got here. But and what made it difficult for us is that, as was mentioned, this property was so pushed so far to the south unnecessarily. If the home were up 15 feet to the north, we wouldn't be in here, we wouldn't be in front of you, because we would have all the room we would need to do a design within the side yard setback dimension. So I think that at least we've tried, and from our point of view, we tried to answer all the questions that the board uses for its criteria. We feel we've responded to those in a logical and honest and reasonable way, and we are here because we think what we're asking for is reasonable, and we think that it certainly gets them where they want to be from the home lifestyle. But what it does is it enhances the community, it enhances the streetscape, it enhances the neighborhood, and for us, it's all positive things for the community. And those are all abstract issues, because those aren't. I know as you as board members, you're not dealing with that. You want to know, have we met is conformance to the zoning ordinance unnecessary and burdensome? So those are the questions. But we feel we've tried to answer those. And I'm just trying to show you, in addition to that, there are other significant elements that cause us to be in front of you this evening.
Okay. Thank you. I kind of, what Ms. Rod explained, is where I was playing with my head, doing, sketching is, on one hand, an 18-foot side front yard setback is still 3 feet greater than 15, right? So if they weren't on a corner lot and they had a neighbor directly next to them, they'd be able to build this without any issues. So, so I part of my struggle is acknowledging that they're trying to go more than 22 feet encroachment and get up to that 25 feet and be into the 15. I would feel very strongly one way. But as I'm going down our list of criteria, I don't know what's presented if it's the least relief required. And as Ms. Rod explained, and I wonder, the dilemma is if the board makes a motion to approve and it doesn't get approved, or there's a motion to deny and the motion to deny gets voted on, is you wouldn't be able to build anything similar to this for a duration of time. You'd have to reapply and pay fees. And so I don't want to tell you what to do, but I think it might be worth, at least in my mind, and I'm not speaking for the board, tabling it and seeing if you could reduce the encroachment so it's a little bit less of an impact.
We certainly would be happy to take that time and let's look at that. You okay with tabling this? No. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that the Shoppings would like to move forward with having the board make a decision, and I can tell you the reason that is the case is because we have looked at this so much, and I know that perhaps taking that from 22 to 25-foot setback rather than 40, so taking it down to 15 rather than 18, that is something that they're not willing to look at, only because the only reason they're looking at it, because they know what that's going to do, because we tried to squeeze this number down. We tried to make it as small as we can to work it out, and the room sizes that they were willing to live with put us in front of the numbers where it's a 22-foot setback, not a 25-foot setback.
Okay.
So we would like to, if the Shoftings are interested in a board action this evening,
Okay, thank you.
if you could please do that.
Can I speak?
Absolutely.
I'm Scott Schofting. I live at 31671 East Belvine Trail. I just want to address the amount of time and cost that we have spent on this design and where we ended up. Mr. Rusaw, we did look at the backyard. We did look at the north side of the building. You know, according to the comment that was made earlier, if we went off to the north side, like my wife said, we would have been real close to our neighbors. So we looked at the backyard, and that would encroach on our design, our sight lines and stuff. So really, the only place that we thought that we could build was on the other side of the house that we are proposing tonight. And when you look at the house and you draw the little lines of where we want to build, it's very small. It's 8% of the property that's on there now. So I don't understand why on a corner lot, if it was a main street, I can understand it. This is a courtyard. So we did want to address that we did look at all the other options around the house because, quite frankly, it would have given us a much bigger footprint. We could have done a lot more, but we didn't like the sight lines when we did the north side from the street. It looked like a big block of a building rather than the nice design that Alex's did on the south side. So I just want to address that we did spend a lot of time and money and thought, and this is where we ended up, and we request that you approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, other board members, any further discussion or there'd be an interest in making a motion? Do you want to take 2 minutes, go outside and talk in private? You got us all night. Who's got jokes? No jokes?
My jokes are all inappropriate if I can remember. I mean, they might be good, but I gotta remember them first.
What vote do we need? Or
Well,
today is just 4?
well, we need a motion to approve.
No,
I
I'm
would
saying
say
what passes today, a vote of 4? There's 7 of us.
5.
Still need
5, we still need
Yep.
5.
That's what I was trying to touch on the bylaws. So it's even though we're short a member,
You still have to get
you still have to get the 5s. We've had, in another community, I was on a board where we did have like the bare minimum 5, and, you know, we opened with the petitioners, just making sure they're clear that you got to sell everybody on the board president.
Right.
You know, that's the numbers thing, right?
That would be the other benefit of tabling it. That's what I would be in favor of, but it's not my choice.
Mr. Kirk, would we have to take a motion, or we just agree to take no action? If the petitioner decided to revisit, would we, as a board, take no action, or would we vote to table it?
Motion to table.
Vote to table.
I was reading our minutes from the bylaws, and we just said no action taken, so I was starting to second guess whether we.
Oh, for the bylaws?
Last meeting, yeah, we just said no action taken, so I didn't know if, we didn't make a motion to table the bylaws.
No, but that is more administrative, not an actual application,
Okay.
right? We have to take some sort of action on cases that are presented to us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What the Shoftings would like to do is, they're happy to table this and come back with a study that perhaps puts us at a 25-foot setback rather than 22. And that they just would like to know, from a conceptual standpoint from the board, is that 25 feet, is that something you would consider? Because they don't want to spend additional design time dollars and then come back and say, well, no, we still, 25 is, from 22 to 25 still it doesn't meet our criteria, or isn't something we could grant, I should say. So and I'm not asking you to vote, I'm just saying is if it's conceptually that's something you might possibly consider, then we would like to table and go back to design and then come back in front of you again. And if that's what our comments were together.
So we are a board. We have members that aren't present today that might be here at the next meeting. One of us may not be here, so we certainly can't make any commitments to do that, but I think your barometer for measuring would be the feedback you've heard the members make, and whether trying to have a variance with least relief the board might be more open to, and I'm not speaking if anyone wants to comment otherwise, but
That's good enough.
I
That's
think
great.
that is.
I appreciate that. That's great. Thank you. So we'll be tabled until would we be able to get on the, this is March, would we be able to get on the April board?
There is no April board meeting. There is a May meeting.
There is?
There will be a May meeting. There is no April meeting.
In May, okay. So the cutoff date is the typical time ahead of that meeting?
I would have to look at the deadlines. Typically, it's at least a 45-day deadline, right?
We can make that.
We can be a little bit more flexible since this would be a continuation. I wouldn't have to redo the notices necessarily. But
And if the board would consider it, we'd like to be tabled.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Board members? Hello again. Petitioners communicated their intent to ask us to table it so they can revisit the extent of the variance requested. Is there a motion to?
Motion to table.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion made to table case number 1440 to the next zoning board meeting. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed, say no. Okay. Thank you.
I will be in touch with you guys tomorrow. Yep, thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda for new business, we have the 2025 Zoning Board of Appeals Annual Report.
All
As
right,
our fun recap of all the decisions we made.
all of the things, right? I think my predecessor started this with you. This is another, similar to the bylaws. This is another one of those best practices that have been identified with the redevelopment-ready communities, so we're really trying to make ourselves predictable, right? So we've seen quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We met 8 times last year. We had 14 variance requests. Almost all of those were granted. We had 3 that were denied, and 1 that was withdrawn. The vast majority of those, as we know, are related to accessory structures and setbacks. Planning Commission knows this, by the way, right? They know that we're going to need to deal with garages, and really looking at that. And that will be something that we take a much harder look at as we go through, and we're going to be updating the zoning ordinance. We will also be looking at the setbacks for all the districts to make sure that what we have is what we want, and we're going to stick with it, right? So keep up the good work, I guess, is what I can say. I think that, setback requests are, we can do all the things that we want to do to improve that ordinance and make it as perfect as we think it is, and we're always going to have those kinds of cases. I'm convinced that there's not a square lot in this entire community, as we just saw. So I'm happy to answer any questions on this very basic annual report. One of the things I would like to have in here, I have been working on it, and I have not been able to really come down with a date, but training. I would like to see us do training annually. So I know we've got a couple people training up very soon, right? But I'd like to see that added into our annual report of things that we're doing. So, but if there are any questions, happy to answer those. Otherwise, I just need a motion to accept and forward this on to council for their acceptance.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Steck. Is there a motion to accept the summary report and forward on to planning?
Village Council.
Council, sorry, yes.
I'll motion to accept the 2025 ZBA annual report to move to planning,
Village Council.
to village council.
Yeah, following my,
Sorry, it's Monday.
we do have a motion.
Second.
I'll acquiesce.
Okay, motion seconded by Ms. Rott. All those in favor of the motion, say yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed, say no. All right, motion passes. All right, next on the agenda are public comments. Is there anybody here from the public that would like to comment? I'm awkwardly staring at the 2 people in the room.
I'm curious what's the difference between the zoning board of appeals and the village council?
You'll have to.
If you don't mind coming up to the
Please repeat
lectern.
your question. The man behind the curtain will yell at us all.
I'm just curious, what's the difference between like a zoning board of appeals meeting and like a village council meeting? What are like the things that are discussed and, or why the different meetings and what are typically, can you expect between the 2 meetings?
Sure. Can we get my layman's or maybe default
You
to
know
the
what?
professional in the room?
Whatever you fancy.
I mean, I'm happy to respond.
Please.
So the village council is elected by the residents, and their main function is the legislative policy, just the overall running of the community. There's a charter, which they are authorized by state law to enact, that sets forth the operation of the city and the powers granted to the council. The zoning board of appeals is created by statute, state law. These folks are all appointed by the council to participate on the zoning board of appeals, and their focus is limited to the zoning ordinance. So what you heard tonight, these folks were seeking an exception or a variance from the strict application of the zoning ordinance because the zoning ordinance creates setbacks, meaning from your lot line to the front of your home, and then on your side yard to the front of, or to the side of your home and so on. They were proposing an addition that would encroach into that required setback that the zoning ordinance provides. This is the body that can give them the relief, basically an exception to the ordinance. So the council is the broader regulation of the community. These folks are charged with granting exceptions, interpreting, and hearing appeals related solely to the zoning ordinance.
I would just also clarify, we do also have use variances in addition to what you heard tonight. If a property owner wanted to use the property different than it's
Zoned.
zoned, thank you. Although we haven't seen, I think I've seen that in my
Those
tenure.
so both the dimensional variances, which they were seeking, and the use variance, they have their own set of standards that Michigan law, like a test, check off the boxes to see if their request can satisfy these requirements.
Who would, if you have a rental in Beverly Hills, who would be the one that would?
I warned you about the man with the art behind.
So if you have a rental, if there was any changes around having rental properties here, who would be the one that would be in charge of that? The zoning or the village
That
council?
would be the council.
Council.
It would?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Having heard no other comments from the public, move on to our liaison comments. Mr. Drummond is not here tonight.
Nope.
So we do not have any comments from our liaison to the council. Moving along to item 10, administration comments.
Well, I believe I mentioned this. I feel like I've been telling everybody this. We do have an RFP out right now, a request for proposals, sorry, alphabet soup, for master plan update and a zoning ordinance overhaul, right? Those are going to be done at the planning commission level. But expect that you're going to have information from me saying, hey, participate, share it with your friends, come join, it'll be a great party. So, that RFP is currently out, due in just a couple of short days. And I believe that process will kick off probably late April. And that'll be a 2-year project, right? Master plan first, then zoning ordinance. So there is that. Should I tell them about our friends?
Sure.
All right. Your last decision at our friends on Kennewick Court, they have appealed your decision. So we're still pretty early on into that legal process. There is nothing for you guys to do except sit back and keep on keeping on. But just want to let you know that decision has been appealed. And I think that about summarizes everything I have for you this evening. We will have a May meeting, though. I know obviously our applicants from tonight will be there. I am expecting information from Detroit Country Day for a proposed scoreboard. They're doing a whole lot of improvements at the athletic complex that have been approved by Planning Commission. They'll be going for their special land use approval at council on possibly the 17th. More than likely, it'll be that first meeting in April. Their scoreboard's a big one, so I'm waiting for their information before that comes to you. And then I will also have an interpretation question for you, but I need their information before I can really flesh out my ideas for you. So be here or be square in May.
Is there value for members of the board if they have time to attend that meeting on the 17th or early April, or is it preferred we don't listen to?
You know, I don't think it really matters. They actually, for their scoreboard request, it was part of their initial package to the Planning Commission. And the Planning Commission has asked for additional information related to sound, size, light, a variety of things. And Detroit Country Day made the decision to pull the scoreboard from consideration so that they can have that as a standalone project and really address all of the needs, the information needed by the Planning Commission. So whatever happens on the 17th they won't be discussing the scoreboard at the time.
Can I ask for an update on zoning board training? I think we were talking about.
Yeah, I've reached out a couple of times, so I do have, Kevin and Adam are both going to be attending the ZBA basic training that you all received from Jill when she was here, gosh, about a year and a half ago, right? So they're gonna be caught up to speed by the end of this month, oh my gosh, on the basics. I have reached out to MAP about scheduling an advanced ZBA training. I've even spoken to Jill to see if she's still interested in providing that training to us. I have not been able to get anything coordinated with MAP right now.
Okay.
So I'm still working on it. I do want that training for you guys. I think it's very beneficial. I'm hoping that what we'll be able to do is hold it on a day that we already have a meeting scheduled, right? So we're not picking a special day and time, and it's already something that's on the calendar, so to speak. But without action, right? No other cases to come before us and do the training.
Yeah, it was great training, but the board is different than it was a year and a half ago. So
Sure.
I don't want people to show hands, but I think there's definitely some folks that weren't at that and would benefit from it as well. So, thank you.
Yep.
Any questions for Ms. Steck on administrative comments? Okay. Which would bring me up to agenda item number 11, zoning board member comments. Do any of the board members have comments? No comments from the zoning board members. Okay. With that, it takes us to the last item, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion.
Second?
We have a second. All those in favor of the motion, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone opposed, say no. All right. We are adjourned.